can sound separate for them. It's like they said, it's kidnapping.
They kidnapping.
That's how you feel. You're being held against your will.
How else can you describe being trapped in a prison, locked down day after day? For these three men, days stretched into weeks that turned into months. Years became decades inside this prison.
I just kind of stayed quiet, but that stuff, waking up in that place.
Those cells, man, they so small, man. You just, all you got is what you got. You know what I mean? Like, and if you ain't got no outside support, man, you in a situation.
Lansing is like most prisons. It's violent. Recently, it's been labeled dilapidated and understaffed. You don't just sit in prison, you survive, and you change.
Yeah,
you transform into this person, man, that, you can't show weakness, you know what I mean? You can't let them see you sweat.
Everybody always tells you, man, forget about that place, forget everything about it.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is you can't forget about it.
Yeah.
Because that's part of who you are. It's just as much a part of you now as your childhood is.
You come back to, what you left from, but you're a different person. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, if you haven't been in that predicament, then you really don't understand.
I'll catch up with everybody when I can, man.
It may sound strange, but freedom comes with a price. These men lost the biggest piece of their adult lives by leaving Lansing.
For me, those people in prison were who I had. Those people became my family for 16 years.
These people I'm close to. I'm here. I'm not close to people out here. I'm like I am with the people that I just left. Those are the people I built relationships with. I'm close to, that I've been fellowshipping with. These are the people that I built bonds and relationships with. And most of them got so much time that, I had to go back to see them somehow. All those people that still need help. I'm not saying everybody should, you should just go let everybody that's in prison out, but a lot of people that's there is just unjustly too. A lot of people there's been, their rights have been violated. So a lot of people there just need just some help, just a little support to get wrong right. So I felt guilty for a minute.
These men share a similar perspective. Three men wrongly convicted who say they know they aren't alone. They point a critical finger at the system and people who put them there.
You don't even know the court system is flawed until you or a family member goes through it.
You're taking people's lives, for shady investigations, shady witnesses, unreliable witnesses. And it's like prosecutors who feel like they have everything they need to convict you. But like in Kansas, it's not that hard. And it might sound crazy, but it's not that hard to convict somebody in Kansas.
And they break the law to get a conviction. They'll do all kind of things to get a conviction. And I think that whatever prosecutor, whatever detective, whatever judge is not following those guidelines should be held accountable. If not, this thing will continue to happen over and over again.
Over and over.
Here's what happens next when courts get it wrong. An apology, sort of. Lamont had one whispered in his ear. It wasn't public. The prosecutor in Jones's case labeled it a bizarre scenario. Floyd Bledsoe had a private one from several people, but nothing on the record. But they don't get a dime. Here's why. There is no compensation in Kansas unless you sue.
I think a lot of people are surprised that there's nothing for you. You guys are literally just, okay, goodbye. You get less than somebody
I think that's why Kansas do what they do, because they don't have to compensate anybody for anything that they do,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not a problem then.
Here's a look at the nationwide map. 30 states and the District of Columbia offer something. In Missouri, you qualify for $50 a day if and only if your innocence is proven by DNA. Iowa also offers $50 a day, plus lost wages and attorney's fees. Nebraska caps that amount at $500,000. Kansas is nothing.
All three of us are 41 years old. We have zero retirement. Most people at 40 are looking forward to another 10, maybe 20 more years of retiring. We don't have that.
Bledsoe and the others are well aware of the financial problems they face. Richard Jones has been out for months.
Have you been able to find a job, or what do you plan on doing?
No, I haven't been able to find a job. I really honestly don't know what I want to do.
Money isn't their focus, it's justice. And the sad reality that it's doubtful anyone will be held responsible. You can't sue a prosecutor. They have full immunity against misconduct charges. According to the Midwest Innocence Project, only one prosecutor across the nation has ever been held accountable in a wrongful conviction. And that was just 10 days in jail.
I should never have to sit in prison for 23 years for a crime I didn't commit because you didn't want to follow the guidelines. That's what they're there for.
Exactly.
It's rules and laws in place to protect me, but they did not go by those rules and those laws to protect me at all. They used them against me, actually.
Lamont McIntyre's case sounds like something out of Hollywood. There are terrible allegations against the detective, but there's even more. People allege the prosecutor at that time pressured witnesses to stick with bad identifications and didn't tell the defense team. Some eyewitnesses said when they saw McIntyre in court, they realized he was too tall and his ears were too big. McIntyre's conviction was the focus of numerous KCTV5 news investigations because it was such a mess.
No, imagine this. 3 different cases. 3 different men, 23, 16, 17, for crimes they didn't commit. In each one of those cases, the person who did it was still free.
In Richard Jones' case, he was floating around the same prison with a person his legal team says has stronger connections to the case. Jones says finding out his look-alike was a fellow prisoner made sense. There was confusion among prisoners. People kept spotting him all over the prison, almost like he had a clone. Jones's defense team blamed fast police work, and they say this police lineup was simply terrible.
Mr. Jones was the only person in the lineup of 6 photos who was light-skinned. He was the only one with a light background. Everybody else had a dark background in the photo. And so when the witnesses were looking at that, he was the only person in the lineup that matched the original description.
In Bledsoe's case, his brother framed him and lied. Tom cleared Floyd in a note. I sent an innocent man to prison. The Jefferson County Police and County Attorney Jim Vanderbilt made me do it. I was told by Vanderbilt to keep my mouth shut. Now I am going to set things right. And then Tom killed himself in this parking lot. Bledsoe has filed a civil rights lawsuit.
What do you think of the justice system now?
There's a lot of flaws in the justice system. The justice system doesn't work. It don't. Our system is broke, and it needs to be fixed.
And you got people in power will break the law. They will break the law and act as if the Constitution doesn't exist just to get a conviction. I think that's just immoral. I think it's wrong.
You got 3 people here that were sitting in the same penitentiary for crimes they didn't commit. If everyone else is held accountable for their actions, then the justice system should be held accountable also.
When we return,
From the moment they walked into my life, it was a blessing to me.
the lawyers who fight for justice
What they do, thank you is never enough.
and what it takes to free just one wrongfully convicted man from prison.
I know I wouldn't be right here if it weren't for them.
Current conditions.